What's the first thing you think of when you think of Canada? Probably it's cold. Probably everyone uses the word a fair amount. But can't really deny there's a lot of great musical content that has come out of the city of Toronto. We got artists like Justin Bieber, we have artists like Drake, and the artist we'll be talking about today, The Weeknd.
Save your tears for another day. Save your tears for another day.
The Weeknd began his career in 2010 when he began touring around Toronto. 2011 would see him continue to tour around Toronto, but he would start to enter more of the United States touring scene. 2012, he would officially sign to Republic Records, where he would begin to release his albums like Beauty Behind the Madness, Starboy, and both those albums would do really well. Starboy not as well as Beauty Behind the Madness, but Beauty Behind the Madness is known for his big hit Can't Feel My Face and The Hills, two really, really interesting tracks. And Starboy has its great share of hits as well, like the title track Starboy, I Feel It Coming, both produced by Daft Punk. And in 2018, he released My Dear Melancholy, an EP. It was around that time he started recording After Hours, which would be his fourth studio album. 2019, we would begin to see certain singles released from said project, and by 2020, the album was officially released. I think what I like about After Hours is it feels kind of like a tragedy almost. We're following The Weeknd. He's got all this fame, he's got all this success, but he focuses on love, specifically breakup. It feels like he's written a tragic love letter of apologies to potentially Bella Hadid, Selena Gomez. We don't know. It's alleged that it's Hadid, but it's alleged that it's Gomez. It's whoever he has had affections with in the past. And the tracks all throughout are just amazing, incredibly atmospheric sound that at times feel like they drown out some of the lyrics, but most of the time that only happens when it's like lyrics that don't exactly feel consequential to the background of said project. We have tracks like Heartless, Blinding Lights, Save Your Tears, that all are not only singles for the album, for good reason. They all focus on some form of The Weeknd going through something internal. And he expresses that most clearly, in my opinion, on Save Your Tears, a track that really embodies he's sharing this moment where he's going and he sees his ex-lover in the distance, doesn't acknowledge her, but when he does, she is broken. She's upset. And it's, I think, metaphors and descriptions, storytelling like that's just so interesting to me. I find that is interesting throughout the entire project. Weeknd does a remarkable job on this project, and the entire album feels like it's produced so well. I honestly didn't have a problem listening to this project when I listened to it. There are times I think that the album does have sounds that get drowned out. I think sometimes the lyrics are kind of pulled back. I think sometimes the beat is just so powerful. There were times I was trying to figure out what the lyrics were saying, but I just couldn't on first listen because it was just, the beat was so heavy. It would be worse if I didn't like the beats, because I enjoyed just about every beat that was on here. There was not one thing that made me like cringe or like turn my head or be like, I don't want to listen to this ever again. Every track on here, for the most part, was really good, and I really admire the storytelling from this project. Escape to LA depicts the toxicity of LA and how it's getting to The Weeknd to a point where he needs to get out. Heartless, Blinding Lights are very blood-pumping tracks that offer a tragic story, but also a lot of adrenaline rush, so you could work out to a song about a breakup. Just think about that for a minute. I think, honestly, this is one of The Weeknd's best projects. I can't believe it's almost a year old, and it's still really good. And this is something I certainly recommend giving a listen when you get the chance. The Weeknd's After Hours gets a 4 scratches out of 5 scratches, meaning it is a near-perfect album. And I'm not afraid of saying that. I think this album was really incredible. I don't think it's 100% there. I still think it has its moments that could have been tweaked a little better. But I still think this was definitely some of The Weeknd's best work. I highly recommend checking this out if you have not done so already.